to see you.
Well, thank you for being here.
That's a proper showbiz reunion. Yes.
We haven't talked about it yet, but we did a movie in 1980, 30 years ago.
I'm afraid so. Yes, it was.
With Richard Curtis, the tall guy.
Yes, exactly. It was a sort of a quasi-autobiographical thing about the... In fact, there we are, in which I played a hideous, self-centered comedian. And Jeff played my sidekick. Which was the Richard Curtis role, because Richard Curtis and I used to do a show, you know, together the first time that we set out doing our comedy reviews, and it was me and it was Richard. And so Richard then later wrote this movie in which he portrayed this hideous monster of a comedian against... And it was a kind of tricky thing, because obviously one doesn't want to admit that it was in any sense biographical. But it was thought maybe that if I played the role, no one could possibly say, well, of course, that's really Rowan Atkinson. If someone else had played the role, then they would have said that. They would have said, you know who that is. But it was me anyway, so they thought, oh, well, it can't be. He can't be like that, really.
Yeah, he's just pretending.
He's just pretending. I'm playing this horrible comedian.
Well, listen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Johnny English Strikes Again. It is out tonight. And these films...
Oh, wow, tonight?
Tonight.
Congratulations.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
How wonderful.
What's that poster? This is the third one, and these films are huge. I mean, they're so successful.
Because they're funny.
Yeah, they do well. I mean, they're fun. I mean, they're very silly, and they're a family comedy, which is a relatively rare thing in this day and age. You have family comedies, but they're normally animation. You know, they're normally animated, and to have live-action family comedies, actually, there aren't a lot of them. Most comedies are more adult.
Yeah, and this one begins with Johnny English. He has retired.
Yes, he's retired. He's a geography teacher in a small school in Lincolnshire. He's not teaching a lot of geography because he's decided to employ and teach his espionage techniques from his past to his pupils. So that's what he's doing, and he's having a whale of a time. And of course the children are having a whale of a time as well, because it's fun, you know. You know, being a spy is fun.
It is.
But yeah, I don't think he's teaching a tremendous amount of geography.
And listen, we have a clip, and it's just basically this is a taste of Johnny English in action.
Okay.
The great Emma Thompson. The great Emma Thompson's in there.
Yes.
Who was in our
who was also in
They
the
just
talk
didn't ask you. It was it was a reunion.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff.
No, that's okay. Emma, that was her first movie, the one we did.
It was.
She's so wonderful.
It was.
Now, there are just those fantastic set pieces that people love watching you do. The, you know, the energy tablets
Yes.
Which must be... that must be knackering.
It was knackering, actually. Yes, it was. Yeah, it's a dance sequence in which I display some extreme
I think we've got some
dance moves.
There's some of your moves.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it's very and it was very taxing. Yes, I have to say. And you know, it doesn't get less taxing with the advancing years. But I managed to keep it going, and we just did a couple of takes in which I just sort of did the silliest stuff I could.
Yeah. And is it very kind of po-faced, kind of going, that's funny, that's funny? Or do you not laugh? Do you never laugh?
Oh, I do laugh. Yes.
That's good. But do you make yourself laugh?
Very occasionally that I find what I do funny, but it's almost actually, it's often on stage where it happens the most, when you feel, you know, there's something about stage performance. It's more likely that your performance will run away with itself, you know. Sometimes trying to do a performance or trying to make a moment funny is like trying to push a ball up a hill, and you're trying to get it as high as you can, and then sometimes there's an extraordinary moment when it sort of tips over the other side and runs away from you, and actually you are no longer in charge of the performance, that actually there's something about the moment, it just goes, whoa. And, you know, you've been pushing, you've tried all you can, and you've got it pretty high, and it's fine, but then suddenly it can go beyond, and suddenly you're not in control of your performance. It's rather a strange thing. I think it's only ever happened to me on stage, when doing sort of comedy sketches and things on stage, rather than on film, whereas film I find very, very difficult.
Exhausting.
I find it exhausting, and I find it stressful. constant belief that what you're doing is not as good as it could be, you know. And of course, the problem with film is you can have another go if you've got a director.
Oh, were you
and
that
producer.
guy? You
I'm
keep...
afraid so.
Oh,
yeah.
you are that guy. I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I do stop eventually when I just get bored. It's great to reach the point when you just can't be bothered to do another take, and that's normally when the director goes. Oh, goodness, we've reached that point.
Because Jamie, you are a bad corpse, aren't you? You do a lot of laughing, don't you?
That's all I do. Yes, no. Kevin, I think Kevin Kline hates me for many reasons, mostly because I would ruin great takes that he would do because I would laugh. I have a secret, though. I take a toothpick or a needle or a safety pin, and I hold it between my fingers here below the camera, and I squeeze it really hard till I bleed.
Oh.
But it works.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that.
No.
I laugh. Yeah, I'm an easy laugh.
But I never. They very often try and get the sort of blooper tapes together of things like the Blackadder, and they're always looking for the moment when I corpse or when I laugh or when I make a mistake, and there are none. In all the series of Blackadder, there are none of me being remotely amused by anything. It's very sad.
And you know, here you are. You're back as Johnny English
Yes.
in this third movie. What about Mr. Bean now? Have you drawn a line under him? No more Mr. Bean?
You know, I doubt that he will reappear, but you never know. You must never.
The people have spoken.
Yeah, quite. But you know, you must never say never again. A film, as Jeff mentioned, that I was in. So you must never say never. But you know, there does come a point when you feel as though you've done most of what you want to do with him. So.
And because it's not based on language, because it's so physical, Mr. Bean, presumably it's popular everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It has what we might call a global outreach.
So, like, our holidays of misery, can you go anywhere?
Well, yeah, I can't go to many places where you're not recognised. And it's the... yeah, the thing I find most tricky is when people don't recognise you particularly, but half recognise you. You know, it's that strange thing where they go... And of course that means they stare. They stare a lot, and they just look. You're sort of feeling, I wish that person wouldn't stare at me. So, you know, I'd rather just, you know, hold up a flag saying yes, yes, it's me. A few years ago, there was I was in a Land Rover parts department near Peterborough, the kind of place you find me on most Saturdays. And we're waiting for car parts. And car parts, guys hang around a lot because, you know, to get a part, the guy has to go half a mile to the back of the warehouse and then come back again, and he brings it back. And he says, this is a left-hand one. Oh, you wanted a right-hand one? Sorry, I'll go. And back he goes, and it takes forever. Anyway, I was standing around with a group of guys, and I could see this guy doing that. And he came up to me after a while, and he said, excuse me, has anyone ever told you that you're the absolute spitting image of that Mr. Bean? And I said, well, actually, I am the actor who plays Mr. Bean. And he said, hi.